Luxury patio and outdoor seating ideas, pergolas, decks and outdoor living. What if your outdoor area could feel just as beautiful, comfortable, and thoughtfully designed as the interiors of your home? A patio is no longer simply a place to keep a few chairs and plants. Today, outdoor spaces are being designed as complete living areas, with comfortable seating, elegant pergolas, beautiful flooring, ambient lighting, greenery, dining zones, fire features, and carefully selected materials that make the space feel luxurious and inviting. Whether you have a large garden, a spacious terrace, a balcony, a backyard, or even a compact outdoor corner, the right design can completely transform how you experience your home. Welcome to Everyday Interiors TV channel. In today's video, we're exploring beautiful patio and outdoor seating ideas, including pergolas, covered seating areas, outdoor lounges, dining spaces, flooring, materials, lighting, landscaping, furniture, and the small details that can make an outdoor space feel sophisticated and comfortable. Let's begin with one of the most important elements of an outdoor space, the seating. A well-designed outdoor seating area should feel like an extension of your living room. Instead of simply placing a few chairs outside, think about how people will actually use the space. Will it be used for morning coffee, evening conversations, weekend entertaining, family dinners, or simply relaxing after a long day? Once you understand the purpose, the furniture layout becomes much easier to plan. For a luxurious patio, a large outdoor sofa can become the central element. You can combine it with lounge chairs, a coffee table, side tables, and ottomans to create a complete conversational setting. Deep seating with comfortable cushions works particularly well for relaxed outdoor lounges. Neutral shades such as ivory, beige, taupe, warm gray, and earthy tones can create a timeless appearance, while darker frames in black, bronze, or deep brown can add contrast. But outdoor furniture needs to be selected differently from indoor furniture. It has to withstand sunlight, humidity, rain, dust, and temperature changes. So the material and fabric are just as important as the appearance. Look for outdoor-rated upholstery, weather-resistant frames, and materials that are appropriate for your local climate. One of the most beautiful additions to an outdoor seating area is a pergola. A pergola can completely change the character of a patio. It introduces structure, provides partial shade, defines the seating zone, and creates an architectural frame for the outdoor space. A simple timber pergola can create a warm and natural appearance, particularly when surrounded by greenery. For a contemporary home, a slim black or bronze metal pergola can look extremely elegant. You can also combine materials. A timber ceiling with dark metal supports, for example, can create a sophisticated modern aesthetic. And pergolas don't necessarily need to remain completely open. Depending on the climate and how much protection you need, you can introduce retractable fabric canopies, adjustable louvers, outdoor curtains, or climbing plants. A louvered pergola is particularly interesting because it can provide greater control over sunlight and shade. When the louvers are open, the space feels bright and connected to the sky. When they are closed, they can provide greater protection from direct sunlight and light rain. For a more romantic and natural look, consider allowing greenery to grow around the pergola. Climbing plants can soften the architectural structure and create a beautiful relationship between the built environment and the landscape. Another important consideration is the flooring. Outdoor flooring creates the foundation for the entire design. Natural stone, porcelain tiles, concrete, decking, and other exterior rated surfaces can all be used depending on the style of the home. Large format stone or porcelain tiles can create a seamless contemporary appearance. Natural stone can bring more texture and character, while timber or composite decking can make an outdoor lounge feel warmer and more relaxed. The flooring should also be practical. Outdoor surfaces need to handle moisture and changing weather conditions, and slip resistance is an important consideration, especially around pools or areas that may become wet. If you want your patio to feel like a true outdoor room, consider creating different zones. Instead of having one large seating arrangement, Divide the outdoor area into smaller experiences. You could have a lounge area with a sofa and coffee table, a dining area with an outdoor dining table, a smaller reading corner, and perhaps a bar or serving counter. This makes a large outdoor space feel much more intentional. For smaller patios, you don't need multiple zones. A compact sofa, 2 comfortable chairs, a small table, and some greenery may be enough. The secret is to maintain circulation and avoid overcrowding. Greenery is another essential part of patio design because plants soften the hard architectural surfaces of flooring, walls, and furniture. A patio without greenery can sometimes feel too rigid, while carefully selected plants can immediately create warmth and life. Large planters can frame seating arrangements, tall plants can provide privacy, climbing plants can grow along pergolas, and smaller plants can add detail to side tables or corners. Trees can become focal points in larger spaces and can eventually provide natural shade. When choosing plants, it is important to consider sunlight, watering requirements, maintenance, climate, root growth, and the amount of space available. The objective isn't simply to add as many plants as possible. Good landscaping is about composition, using variations in height, texture, form, and density to create depth. For a more luxurious and sophisticated patio, planting can be kept relatively controlled. A few large statement planters can have a much stronger visual impact than dozens of small pots scattered across the space. Architectural plants with strong shapes can work beautifully in contemporary patios, while layered planting and climbing greenery can create a softer, more natural environment. Repetition is also important. Using the same plant or planter material in several locations creates visual continuity and makes the landscaping feel professionally designed. Privacy is another aspect that needs to be addressed early. Many urban patios are surrounded by neighboring buildings, roads, or other homes, and an exposed patio may not feel comfortable even if it is beautifully designed. Privacy can be created through tall planting, trees, timber screens, metal screens, textured walls, curtains, pergolas, or combinations of these elements. The goal should not necessarily be to completely block everything around the patio. Instead, create targeted privacy where it is needed while preserving natural light, airflow, and views. A combination of greenery and architectural screening often feels much more elegant than a completely solid barrier. Lighting is what allows the patio to transform after sunset. During the day, natural light defines the space, but in the evening, artificial lighting needs to create the right atmosphere. Rather than relying on one powerful ceiling or wall light, think about lighting in layers. Ambient lighting can provide overall illumination, while accent lighting can highlight plants, architectural walls, artwork, water features, or trees. Functional lighting can be used around pathways, steps, entrances, and dining areas. Lighting integrated into pergola beams, beneath benches, around planters, or along steps can create subtle depth without making the fixtures themselves the focus. The color temperature of outdoor lighting also matters. Warm lighting generally creates a more intimate and relaxing atmosphere, particularly in seating and dining areas. Very bright or excessively cool lighting can make a beautiful patio feel harsh. The objective should be to create enough illumination for comfort and safety while preserving shadows and darker areas that add depth. A luxurious outdoor space is rarely evenly illuminated from every direction. Instead, light is used selectively to guide the eye and establish mood. Technology can also be incorporated into a modern patio, particularly in larger luxury homes. Outdoor speakers can provide music without visible equipment dominating the design. Smart lighting can allow different scenes to be created for dining, entertaining, or relaxing. Weather-resistant televisions or projection systems can transform a covered patio into an outdoor entertainment room. Automated pergolas and retractable shades can respond to sunlight or weather conditions. However, technology should ideally be integrated discreetly. The patio should still feel like a natural, relaxing environment rather than an outdoor electronics showroom. Once the architecture, furniture, materials, landscaping, and lighting are established, styling becomes the final layer. Outdoor cushions, throws, rugs, ceramics, sculptures, lanterns, planters, decorative trays, and carefully selected accessories can give the patio personality. An outdoor rug can visually define a seating arrangement and make it feel more like an interior room. Cushions can introduce subtle color and pattern, while natural woven textures can soften a contemporary space. But outdoor styling should remain controlled. Too many accessories can make the space feel cluttered and can also create additional maintenance. Color selection should follow the same principle. Neutral palettes can create an extremely sophisticated outdoor environment, particularly when combined with natural stone, timber, greenery, and warm lighting. Shades of ivory, beige, taupe, brown, gray, charcoal, and natural wood can form a timeless foundation. Color can then be introduced through plants, cushions, ceramics, artwork, or smaller accessories. Alternatively, if the architecture is very restrained, furniture and accessories can introduce stronger color and personality. There is no single correct palette. The important thing is to establish a clear visual direction. Texture is often even more important outdoors than color. Think about the contrast between rough stone and smooth upholstery, timber and metal, woven materials and glass, soft cushions and hard architectural surfaces. These contrasts create depth and make the patio visually interesting without requiring excessive decoration. A sophisticated patio usually feels rich because of its layers of texture rather than because it contains a large number of objects. Comfort should also be considered beyond furniture. If the patio is exposed to strong wind, seating may need to be positioned differently. If the area receives intense afternoon sun, additional shade may be necessary. If the patio is used in cooler weather, heaters, fire features, or enclosed structures may extend its usability. If insects are a concern, screening and appropriate landscaping can help. Every environmental condition affects the way the space should be designed. Maintenance is another factor that should be considered before selecting materials. Outdoor furniture is exposed to sunlight, dust, rain, humidity, and temperature changes. Fabrics need to be appropriate for outdoor use. Wood may require periodic care, metal needs suitable finishes, and plants require ongoing maintenance. The easiest patio to maintain is not necessarily the one with the fewest elements. It is the one where materials and plants have been selected appropriately for the environment. There are also several common patio design mistakes worth avoiding. One of the biggest is overcrowding the space. Another is choosing furniture that is too small or too large for the architecture. Ignoring shade is another common problem because an outdoor area needs to remain comfortable during different times of the day. Poor drainage, slippery flooring, inadequate lighting, and unsuitable outdoor fabrics can all create problems later. Another mistake is using too many unrelated materials. A sophisticated patio generally has a controlled material palette where different elements complement one another. Perhaps the biggest mistake, however, is designing the patio only for photographs. A patio should not simply look beautiful when nobody is using it. It should be designed around real experiences. Can you comfortably sit there for an hour? Can several people move around without bumping into furniture? Can you eat there in the evening? Is there enough shade? Does the lighting create the right atmosphere? Is there enough privacy? Can the materials survive the weather? These practical questions are what ultimately determine whether the design succeeds. For those looking to create a truly luxurious outdoor environment, the answer is not necessarily to add more expensive features. Luxury often comes from proportion, restraint, quality, and attention to detail. A beautifully proportioned pergola, natural stone flooring, comfortable seating, mature greenery, warm lighting, and a carefully considered material palette can feel far more luxurious than a patio filled with expensive but unrelated objects. Another important concept is creating a visual focal point. Every patio benefits from having something that naturally draws the eye. It could be a fireplace, a sculptural tree, a water feature, a textured wall, a beautiful pergola, a statement light, or simply a carefully framed view of the landscape. Once the focal point is established, The rest of the design can support it rather than competing with it. The best patios also consider views from inside the house. If your patio is visible through large windows, don't design it only from the outside. Think about how the furniture, plants, lighting, and architectural elements will appear from the living room or bedroom. A beautiful outdoor composition can become a piece of living artwork when viewed from indoors, particularly at night when subtle landscape lighting creates depth beyond the glass. Ultimately, a patio should create a sense of transition between architecture and nature. It should feel connected to the home but also provide an experience that is distinctly outdoors. The strongest designs balance hard and soft elements, open and enclosed areas, light and shadow, functionality and aesthetics. They provide enough structure to feel intentional while retaining enough natural openness to feel relaxed. So, if you are planning your own patio, start by defining how you want to live in the space. Establish the layout and circulation first. Decide whether you need separate lounge and dining zones. Choose furniture based on comfort, proportion, and weather resistance. Consider a pergola or another shading solution if necessary. Select flooring that is beautiful but also practical. Introduce greenery thoughtfully rather than randomly. Create privacy where it is needed. Layer your lighting instead of relying on one bright source. Connect the outdoor materials and colors to the interior of your home. Finally, add styling and personal details that make the space feel like yours. Because the most successful patio isn't necessarily the one with the biggest budget or the most dramatic features. It is the one that makes you want to use it. It is the patio where you can sit with your morning coffee while the house is still quiet. It is where your family can have dinner on a pleasant evening. It is where friends can gather around a fire, where children can play, where you can read, relax, entertain, or simply spend a little more time outdoors. And that is ultimately what good outdoor design should do. It should make everyday living feel a little more special. A thoughtfully designed patio can transform ordinary moments into experiences, whether it is enjoying your morning coffee in the soft sunlight, having a relaxed dinner with family, entertaining friends on a beautiful evening, or simply taking a quiet moment to unwind after a long day. Your patio is not just an empty space outside your home. It is an opportunity to extend your lifestyle beyond the walls and create another environment where architecture, nature, comfort, and design come together. When the right materials, furniture, greenery, lighting, and architectural elements are thoughtfully brought together, the patio can feel just as considered and personal as any interior space in the home. So whether you are working with a large luxury terrace, a landscaped garden patio, a poolside deck, or a compact urban outdoor area, remember that thoughtful planning will always make a bigger difference than simply adding more elements. Start with the experience you want to create and build the layout around it. Choose materials that are beautiful, durable, and suited to your climate. Create comfortable places to sit, introduce greenery to soften the architecture, and consider shade and privacy so that the space remains enjoyable throughout the day. Use lighting to create warmth and atmosphere after sunset, and finally, bring in those personal details and accessories that make the space feel uniquely yours. Because when all of these elements come together, even a simple outdoor area can become an extraordinary part of the home. It can become more than a patio. It can become an extension of your living space, a place to gather, relax, entertain, and create memories. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this complete guide to patio design, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Everyday Interiors TV, and share this video with someone who is planning their dream outdoor space. And we'd love to know in the comments, if you were designing your own patio, would you choose a modern minimalist outdoor space, a warm luxury resort-style patio, or a natural garden-inspired retreat? Let us know what your ideal outdoor space would look and feel like. Until then, stay inspired, keep exploring beautiful ideas for your home, and keep creating spaces that feel uniquely yours. Before we wrap up, let's play a quick little game. Imagine you have a completely empty patio, and you have to design your dream outdoor space from scratch. I'm going to give you 4 choices, and your answers will decide what kind of patio you would create. Round 1. The seating. Would you choose A large, plush outdoor sofa, B, elegant lounge chairs, or C, a relaxed built-in seating arrangement? Round 2, the structure. Would you go for A sleek modern pergola, B, a warm timber pergola covered with greenery, or C, no pergola and keep the space completely open? Round 3, the mood. Would you choose A warm and earthy neutrals, B, contemporary black, grey, and stone, or C, a lush green resort-inspired palette? And finally, round 4, the evening feature. Would you choose A beautiful fire pit, B, soft layered lighting, or C, a stunning water feature? Now add up your choices and tell us your answers in the comments. For example, 1A, 2B, 3C, 4B. And here's the fun part. Don't just tell us your choices. Tell us what you think your patio style says about you. Are you the modern minimalist, the luxury resort lover, the nature retreat designer, or the cozy entertainer? There are no right or wrong answers. It's your dream patio, so design it your way. And if you're watching this with someone else, pause the video and compare your answers. You might be surprised by how differently you would design the same space.